Two people, same age, same city, same $80,000 salary, and the exact same $70,000 in savings. One looks at the housing market and says, I'm tired of throwing money away on rent. It's time to buy. The other says, why lock all my savings into one building? I'm renting and investing the difference. 20 years later, they have drastically different lives. But here is the kicker. Almost every rent versus buy debate that you have ever watched skips the real numbers. One side shows you a $500,000 house and calls it proof. The other talks about the freedom and flexibility that pretends that's free. Neither runs the full spreadsheet. Today, we run the math. No bias, no agenda, just brutal, honest numbers so you can figure out what's right for your bank account. Hit the like and subscribe button if you prefer real financial math or clickbaits, and let's just jump right into it. Let's look at our two candidates. Meet Jake. He buys a $350,000 home. He puts down his entire savings of $70,000, which is 20% down payment, avoiding private mortgage insurance. He finances $280,000 at a 7% interest rates over 30 years. Jake thinks his monthly cost is just the principal and interest, which is $1,863 a month. Wrong! Here is what Jake is actually paying every single month. Mortgage principal and the interest, $1,863. Property taxes, $350. Homeowners insurance, $150. Maintenance reserve based on 1% rule, which is going to be $290. Jake's real monthly housing cost isn't $1,863, but it's actually $2,653. Now let's meet Marcus. Marcus signs a lease or a comparable 3-bedroom place for a $2,000 a month. He takes his $70,000 down payment money, puts into S&P index fund. Then he takes $653 difference between his rent and Jake's total home payment and invests that amount every single month too. On paper, Marcus looks like a genius. He's living in the same neighborhood, saving $653 a month and keeping his capital liquid until day one hits. Before Jake even moves his couch into the new house, he hits the hidden wall. Closing costs. Closing costs runs 2 to 5% of the purchase price. For Jake, that's an extra $7,000 to $10,000 in lender's fee, title insurance, appraisal, prepaid taxes, so on and so forth. On day one, Jake isn't breaking even. He's instantly down thousands. Then comes the mortgage illusion. People tell Jake he is building equity from day one. But let's look at year one of a 7% mortgage. Out of Jake's $1,863 monthly payment, $1,633 goes into the interest. $230 goes to the principal amount. Only $230 is the actually building his wealth. Now, when you add taxes, insurance, and maintenance, Jake spends $2,423 every single month on non-equity costs, money that vanishes forever. Meanwhile, Marcus pays $2,000 in rent. In year one, the homeowner actually is throwing away more money than the renter. Fast forward to year three. Jake's home has appreciated about $385,000. So he got a total of $115,000 in equity, but it's trapped inside his walls. Plus, he had to pay $1,300 out of pocket when his water heater exploded in year two. Now, Marcus is $70,000 in index fund plus $653 that he has monthly added as investment has grown to roughly $120,000 in liquid cash. At year three, Marcus is winning on liquid net worth. Now let's jump into year 10. This is where the story completely flips. Over 10 years, Marcus's rent hasn't stayed at $2,000. With a standard 3% annual increase, his rent is now $2,690 per month. The $653 monthly gap that Marcus had, you remember that he was investing? That's gone. His monthly cost advantage has completely vanished. Meanwhile, Jake's principal and interest payment is still $1,863. Inflation made everything else more expensive, but Jake has locked in his core housing cost a decade ago. Jake's home is now worth roughly $490,000, and his remaining loan is down to $246,000. He's sitting on nearly $245,000 in home equity. By year 20, something massive happens. Marcus's stock portfolio is impressive, roughly $560,000. But now his rent is $3,600 a month, and it will keep rising for the rest of his life. Jake's home equity is sitting at $500,000. But here is the ultimate variable that short-sighted ignore: the end date. At year 30, Jake pays off his mortgage. His monthly payment plummeted to thousands of dollars, down to just property taxes and maintenance, which is around $900 a month. Marcus at year 30 is paying over $4,800 in month in rent. He has no asset, no end date, no floor under his cost of living. To summarize the 30-year outcome, for Jake the homeowner, his asset value is now at $850,000, and the home is fully paid off. His monthly cost at year 30 drops to around $900 a month, and his cost is overlooking, and now it is fixed and low. For Marcus, the renter, his stock portfolio reaches $800,000. However, his monthly cost is roughly $4,800 after 30 years on a monthly basis. For his cost, that will rise forever. On paper, Marcus's stock strategy can mathematically beat the home ownership in specific high-growth market cycles. However, there's a massive catch that the spreadsheets don't account for, which is human behavior. The renting strategy only works if you discipline yourself to invest the exact difference every single month for 30 years. Do real people actually do that? Data shows almost nobody does. Most people spend the extra money. They upgrade their cars, buy nicer clothes, take vacations, or leave the money sitting idle in a savings account. Home ownership acts as a forced savings account. Every single month, Jake pays his mortgage. He's forced to build wealth, whether he feels disciplined that month or not. So who actually wins? Here is your exact decision framework. Buying wins when you plan to stay for at least 7 to 10 years, which allows you to clear the heavy transaction and interest costs. You want a fixed cost of living for your future retirement, and you want forced financial discipline. Renting wins when you plan to move in 3 to 5 years because transaction cost will eat you alive if you buy. You live in a hyper-expensive market where the price-to-rent ratio is totally skewed, and you are 100% disciplined to invest every spare dollar into the market. There is no universal answer, only math that fits your life, that works for you right now. If this breakdown gave you a clarity, hit the like button, subscribe for real financial math every single week. Drop a comment below if you have a question. Are you a team rent or team buy? Write down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on our next video. I'll see you in the next video.